Hi, I'm Nia. I've lived my whole life with just my dad. He told me my mom died when I was a baby. I believed him. I mean, why wouldn't I? He never talked about her, and the only photo we had of her was this tiny one in a dusty picture frame on the mantel. She looked beautiful, mysterious, almost like a movie star. But I always felt this weird emptiness, like something didn't add up. Then, one day while I was helping him clean the attic, I found an old box. Inside were dozens of letters, all signed by her, all dated years after she supposedly died. And just like that, my world shattered. I sat on the attic floor, hands trembling, reading the first letter. My sweet Nia, not a day goes by that I don't think of you. I wish I could hold you just once. Maybe one day when it's safe. Safe! She wasn't dead. She was hiding. But from who? And why had Dad lied? I confronted him that night. He went pale, silent. Then, after what felt like forever, he said, "It was for your protection. You were never supposed to find those." Then he locked himself in his room. I didn't sleep that night. I stayed up reading every letter, trying to piece together the truth. One detail repeated over and over: my name isn't the same anymore. I've changed everything, even my face. Wait, what does that even mean? The next morning, I went digging again, not in the attic, but in the living room. We had a family photo shelf, dozens of smiling faces, beach trips, birthdays. But behind one photo, literally behind the frame, I found it. A faded picture. A woman holding a baby. Her face familiar. Too familiar. My heart thudded. It was her. The woman from the letters. Only younger. Softer. Real. Suddenly, I noticed something in the corner of the photo, barely visible. A man, partly cropped out, wearing my dad's jacket. The same jacket he still wore every winter. That's when I knew he hadn't just hidden her from me. He had loved her. So why did he erase her? I needed answers, and I was done asking nicely. That night, I waited until Dad came home from work. He was tired, quiet, typical. I didn't even let him take off his coat. I pulled out the photo and asked one question. "Who is she?" His face froze. No confusion. No pretending. Just silence. Then, in a voice I barely recognized, he said, "Your real mother." The room spun. Real. He told me she died when I was a baby. He'd even shown me a grave. But now he admitted it. She didn't die. She left. Left him. Left me. Or so he said. But something in his eyes. It wasn't just sorrow. It was guilt. "I did what I thought was best," he whispered. "For both of us." I didn't know whether to scream or cry. All I knew was someone was lying. The next morning, I skipped school. Not to rebel, but because I needed answers. Dad had given me a name. That was all. No number. No address. Just a name, and the same warning he always used when things got too real. Let the past stay buried. But I didn't listen. I couldn't. I spent the whole day digging through old public records, online forums, anything that might lead me to her. And finally, I found something. A tiny art studio across town. The website listed one of the instructors as Amelia Quinn, the same name Dad gave me. And the bio: loves abstract painting, herbal tea, and reconnecting with lost parts of herself. I couldn't stop staring at that last part. It felt like a message. Like maybe, just maybe, she was waiting for me too. So I went. And when I got there, she was standing right in the front window, painting. And she looked just like me. I stood there for what felt like hours. My heart was slamming in my chest. I mean, what was I even supposed to say? "Hi, I think you're my mom. Sorry for just showing up." But something in me knew, if I walked away now, I'd regret it forever. So I opened the door. The little bell above it jingled. She looked up. Our eyes locked. And something shifted in her face. She dropped her paintbrush, took a shaky step forward, then whispered, "You're her, aren't you?" I couldn't even answer. I just nodded. She rushed forward and hugged me, so tight I thought I'd disappear inside her. I had imagined this moment 100 different ways. But nothing, compared to the real thing. The next few days felt like a dream. We talked for hours about art, about life, about the little things. She told me how she never stopped thinking about me, how she'd write me letters every birthday, even though she never sent them. But just when I thought everything was finally falling into place, the past came knocking. Literally. One night, there was a knock on the door of the studio apartment where I'd been staying with her. She opened it, and there stood my adoptive father. His expression, a mix of shock and something scarier, control. "You ran off to this life," he said, stepping inside without asking. "You think you can just disappear and rewrite the story?" He wasn't here to talk. He was here to reclaim what he thought was his. And suddenly, I wasn't a girl finding her roots anymore. I was back to being a pawn in someone else's game. He didn't yell. He didn't need to. His words were like knives, sharp, deliberate, meant to cut deep. "I raised you, paid for everything, gave you the best schools, the best life. And this is how you repay me, by running off with her." My mom tried to step in, but he silenced her with a look. "You're coming home. Now." I stood frozen. Part of me still feared him, the way you fear someone who once controlled every part of your life. But I wasn't that scared little girl anymore. "No," I said. His eyes narrowed. "If you walk away from me, you walk away from everything." And that's when I realized that's exactly what I needed to do. I turned to my mom, tears in her eyes, and took her hand. I already have everything I need. The days after I chose Mom were quiet, not peaceful, more like standing in the ruins after a storm. We had barely anything. No money, no plan, just each other in a cramped one-bedroom apartment with secondhand everything. But every evening, we made dinner together, even if it was just rice and beans, and laughed like we hadn't in years. I got a part-time job at a bookstore. Mom started painting again. We were healing, slowly, painfully, but genuinely. One afternoon, I came home to find her hanging a small, crooked painting of a flower on the wall. "It's not perfect," she said, "but it's real. Just like us. For a while, life was still. Not easy, not magical, just normal. And honestly, I loved it. I made new friends who liked me for me. No secret agendas, no fake smiles, no backstabbing. Just honesty." Mom sold her first painting in years. We even danced in the kitchen to old music one night when she got paid. It felt like we were finally free from the drama, from the lies, from him. But peace doesn't last forever. One rainy afternoon, a knock on the door shattered our calm. It was Dad, disheveled, soaked, holding a small box. "I'm not here to take you back," he said. "I just wanted to give you this." Inside, letters. Dozens of them. He had written me one every week since we left, but never sent a single one. That night, I read every single one of those letters. Some were full of apologies. Some were angry. Some sounded like the Dad I remembered before everything fell apart. And in every envelope was a tiny piece of a truth I never got to hear growing up. One letter explained why he left that night. Another talked about his regrets. One was just a drawing of me as a stick figure riding a unicorn. I was 5 when he made that. It didn't erase the pain, but it made the story messier, more human, and it made me wonder, had I been holding on to a version of my dad that was frozen in the worst moment of our lives? I still didn't forgive him. Not fully, but something cracked open in my chest, something I thought had closed for good. Maybe this wasn't the end of our story. Maybe it was just a different kind of beginning. It's funny how a year can change everything. 1 year ago, I couldn't say my dad's name without shaking. Now we text sometimes. It's awkward. It's slow. But it's something. Mom and we're better too. I finally told her about the letters. She cried. Not because she was sad, but because she realized I was healing. I've stopped trying to erase what happened. Instead, I'm learning to live with it. Like a scar. It doesn't vanish, but it fades, and it reminds you how strong you had to be. I joined the school newspaper. Started writing stories, other people's secrets, not just mine. Turns out, storytelling runs in the family. Just not the lies. And Leo, he emailed me last week. Just 2 words. Still here. I don't know what that means yet, but I'm ready to find out. Because for the first time in forever, I'm not hiding anymore. And just like that, her story didn't end, it evolved. If this episode left a mark on your heart, or made you text someone you miss, smash that like button. Tell us your thoughts, theories, or tears in the comments. And subscribe to Ruby's Secret Files, because secrets like these, they're meant to be shared. See you next time, truth seekers. Until then, keep your stories messy, your hearts open, and your snacks stocked.